So folks, the Penguin series has wrapped its first season and many fans think it's one of the best comic book shows out there. Today I'll break down my thoughts on all 8 episodes, where the show hit the mark, a few weak points, and how it ties up directly into Batman Part 2. Heads up for spoilers ahead. So let's talk about episode 8. This finally was huge, tying up Penguin's story in some surprising way, but also setting up things for the next Batman movie without giving it too much. We don't even know who the main villain is in the Batman Part 2, but with that mystery in mind, let's dive into how the Penguin holds up as a show and what it means for the future of Gotham. First, let's talk about what Penguin did well. Colin Farrell as a Penguin was a true standout. Under all that makeup, he fully disappeared into the role. His performance was both gritty and funny, and he made Penguin feel real. We saw him start as a criminal everyone underestimates, then work his way up, always scamming and finding new angles. By the end, you really understand this character, even if he's not someone you are supposed to root for. That's the strength of Matt Reeves' world. These aren't one-dimensional villains. They are people with real motivations. Now, I had only one problem with this show. It was basically the small one, was a lack of Batman's presence. It's clear that Matt Reeves and his team made a choice here. They didn't want Batman to overshadow Penguin's story. While I respect that, it felt strange at times. This show was all about Gotham's criminal, yet we hardly hear anyone mention Batman's looming presence. In the Batman, they made it clear that he strikes fear into Gotham's criminal, but that fear isn't really shown here. And with so much chaos going on, big explosions, death of crime bosses, you think Batman might show up or at least be mentioned. But that's a minor gripe compared to all things I loved. One of the best parts, the Penguin, was seeing him growing from lackey for the Falcone family into real force. He's no longer just a joke criminal. He's becoming something powerful. Penguin may be a villain, but we see what drives him, especially his need for mother's approval. Even if it means doing terrible things, just like Batman is motivated by the death of his parents. Penguin has a similar dark drives that pushes him. This adds a layer to Penguin that many villains' origin stories lack. Now let's talk about the supporting characters. Sofia Falcone was a big surprise at first. She seemed like a typical mob boss, but her backstory was actually really sad. Her own father betrayed her, sending her to Arkham. That's not just prison in the world, it's more like torture center. This show really shows how Gotham itself breaks people. Watching Sofia get revenge on her family, taking out Falcone members one by one, made me root for her, even if she is supposed to be a bad guy. Another interesting character is Vic, Penguin's right-hand man. He starts as some guy Penguin picks up, but his loyalty glows over time. Vic's family was affected by a ruthless flooding attack from the Batman, which adds to a tragedy of Gotham's everyday people. Penguin and Vic's relationship feels it's real, not just a boss and employee situation. I thought Vic would stay loyal to Penguin till the end, but in brutal twist, Penguin himself kills Vic. It was just a reminder that this show is about the villain, not the anti-hero. And speaking of dark twists, let's talk about Penguin's mom. Throughout the show, he keeps her alive in this weird way, even when she's not fully conscious. At one point, she even told him if she ever ended up like that, she wanted him to end her life, but Penguin ignores her wish. It's not because he cares, though it's more likely that this is the way of pushing her in her last moments. She told Penguin she always hated him, and this seems like his revenge. He's twisted, but it fits with the character's ruthless nature. With that, let's move on to how the Penguin sets up the Batman Part 2. One big thing is that Penguin is gearing up to run for mayor. This has happened versus Batman stories before, and it feels right here. Penguin is a master of manipulator. He knows how to say right things, and he can easily sway away Gotham's people. He's got his eyes set on politics, and I can't wait to see him work his way up from the bottom all over again. Plus, it seems like the next Batman movie will pick up during Gotham's winter season. Matt Reeves mentioned that the Penguin show wraps up before Christmas, so that winter setting will likely carry over the Batman Part 2. This could set up perfect chilly Gotham City backdrop, especially if they bring in villain like Mr. Freeze. Imagine Winter Them Batman story. There's so much potential for incredible visuals and chilling themes. There's another hint too. The current mayor, Bellarville, is setting up anti-mass task force. This could mean crackdown for vigilantes like Batman. It will put Batman in tough spot, especially with his relationship with Gordon, who works closely with him. Some fans are even guessing that this task force might bring in a character like Harvey Dent as Gotham's district attorney. He could be a natural leader for this new team, and it'd be a great way to introduce him before he becomes Two-Face. And about the last thing, the show hints the future of spin-off Sophia Falcone ends up in Arkham, but she receives a mystery letter from Selena Kyle, aka Catwoman, who is also Falcone's daughter. This could mean future Catwoman story, or even team up between Sophia and Selena. While it's unclear if this will play into Batman Part 2, it definitely opens the door for more Gotham stories. And that's about it for a big clue we got from Penguin. I hope you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and if I didn't mention anything about this whole series on Batman Part 2, or even any series that it was in the show that I didn't mention it, I'll be happy to hear from you. See you next time.
What is that?
1300 AD, they called this man the hero from the sky. He was prophesied to have destroyed the evil